Imagine a place so powerful it held all the knowledge of the ancient world. A place where scrolls from Egypt, Greece, India, and Babylon sat side by side like the original internet. That place was the Library of Alexandria. And then ... it vanished, burned, erased, lost to time. But what if it didn't? What if the Library of Alexandria never burned? What if all that ancient wisdom had survived? How would the ripple effects change our world today? Let's rewind. It wasn't just a library, it was a statement, a flex. That might not sound like much today, but remember, each scroll was handwritten, copied painstakingly by scribes. And these weren't just Egyptian texts. The guy who literally calculated the circumference of the earth over 2,000 years ago with just shadows and math, he missed by only a few miles. They were pulling in manuscripts from Greece, India, Mesopotamia. China. Any ship that docked in Alexandria could have its texts seized, copied, and added to the collection. The Ptolemies wanted to make Alexandria the cultural capital of the world, and the library was their intellectual trophy. This was a living hub of innovation, argument, discovery. Imagine walking through a hallway and overhearing a debate between two scholars on whether atoms were real or whether the stars were gods. The Library of Alexandria was founded in the 3rd century BCE, under the reign of Ptolemy I, a former general of Alexander the Great. It spun using steam pressure. Fun gadget, right? But nobody thought to apply it to industry, transportation, or warfare. It's believed the library housed anywhere between 40,000 to 400,000 scrolls. Picture a Roman Empire that doesn't just build aqueducts and colosseums, but begins manufacturing with steam-powered tools, conveyor belts, basic automation. No book was safe. Giant galleys crossing the Mediterranean under mechanical propulsion instead of slave labor. The goal was total knowledge. Rome becomes not just a military superpower, but an industrial one. Total preservation. Communications between generals improve with early telegraphy based on copper wiring. The principles of electromagnetism explored earlier thanks to preserved texts from the East and India. This means power generation, transmission, and early electronics could have been commonplace by the 1600s or 1700s. Communication technologies, telephones, and eventually radios are developed, connecting continents and cultures faster than we know. Early industrial computers and programmable machines redefine labor and industry. Instead, it passed steadily through the centuries, lighting the path of human progress like a beacon. Total domination, not militarily, but intellectually. And it wasn't just storage. Empires no longer collapse under the weight of ignorance or superstition. Instead, they evolve into knowledge-based states with sophisticated bureaucracies and scientific advisory councils. The library was attached to the Mausiana kind of research institute, with continuous advancement fueled by Alexandrian science. The Industrial Revolution arrives centuries earlier, propelling humanity into the modern age with far more time to refine and develop innovations. Picture it, scholars walking through marble halls, debating the cosmos, inventing geometry, dissecting animals, analyzing language. Education becomes universal much earlier, driving social mobility and innovation. Artistic movements flourish alongside scientific progress, each inspiring the other. It was the world's first think tank. Estimates of the scrolls lost range from 40,000 to 400,000. a vast archive containing texts on science, mathematics, medicine, philosophy, literature, and technology. The names that passed through its doors: legends, Euclid, Archimedes, Eratosthenes, for example, the writings of Heraclitus, who philosophized about the nature of change, or Anaximander, who developed early models of the cosmos. These were likely lost in the flames. Let that sink in. The library housed treatises on anatomy, surgery, and herbal medicine, some of which may have predated later European discoveries by centuries. This wasn't just a place of dusty scrolls and musty silence. The scrolls may have contained blueprints for devices far more advanced: early robotics, complex gears, and tools that could have powered civilizations far beyond what history recorded. Now, imagine if all of that had survived. Steam-powered Rome, the industrial empire that could have been. Let's start with one of the biggest ripple effects: an industrial revolution. But in the Roman Empire, you've probably heard of Hero of Alexandria. He created what's considered the first steam engine, called the Aeolipile. Now, imagine Hero's scrolls survive, not just survive, but inspire generations. Picture Roman roads, not filled with marching soldiers, but steam chariots belching smoke across Europe. Factories emerge centuries early. Metal tools are mass-produced. Agriculture is mechanized. A middle class forms based on skilled labor. And the implications, colossal. With steam power, Rome's armies become nearly unstoppable. Imagine mobile siege towers powered by rudimentary engines. Imagine catapults with reloading systems. A Roman industrial empire means longer reign, wider expansion, and deeper cultural standardization. Latin becomes a truly global language. Fast forward to the present day. In this alternate timeline, the ancient flame of knowledge kindled by the Library of Alexandria never flickered out. What would the modern world look like if the intellectual fire never died? Technologically, the implications are staggering. Consider electricity and electromagnetism, for example. Thanks to the preserved work of early Greek natural philosophers and Indian mathematicians, the foundations of electrical engineering were laid by the Middle Ages. Imagine cities glowing with electric lights a full 2 centuries before Edison. Computing devices inspired by analog mechanisms like the Antikythera and enhanced by centuries of mechanical innovation reach early forms of automation by the 19th century. Politically, the accelerated knowledge flow reshapes power dynamics. The Roman Empire never truly falls. Instead, it morphs into a technocratic superpower, its governance bolstered by data, engineering, and logistics refined over millennia. Nation-states, as we know them, may be replaced by vast federations united by shared language, technology, and culture, the legacy of Latin's unbroken global dominance. Without the long medieval stagnation, democracy and scientific inquiry rise earlier, fostering societies with stronger institutions, transparency, and human rights. Culturally, a continuous thread connects ancient philosophy to Renaissance humanism, to Enlightenment reason, to modern pluralism and multiculturalism. With early exploration and technology, humanity may even reach space centuries ahead, perhaps launching the first telescopes and rockets by the 18th or 19th centuries, exploring the solar system long before the 20th century. On a societal level, the blending of ancient Eastern, Western, and Middle Eastern knowledge creates a truly global culture, with philosophies and religions cross-pollinating freely. Imagine the preservation and integration of texts from China, India, Persia and Greece, sparking new worldviews that reject dogma and embrace empirical evidence and ethics based on universal human values. This alternate modern world is more connected, enlightened, and technologically advanced a world where the cumulative knowledge of humanity never faced a catastrophic setback. To truly grasp how staggering the loss of the Library of Alexandria was, we need to face what vanished forever: knowledge, inventions, ideas, and entire worldviews that might have shaped humanity's path for millennia. First, the scale of loss is almost unimaginable. Among these were works from pre-Socratic philosophers whose ideas were foundational but now survive only through references in later texts. Similarly, lost medical texts from Egypt and India could have revolutionized health centuries earlier. Consider technology. Early mechanical inventions like Hero's Eolipile and detailed descriptions of automata are just the tip of the iceberg.